Hello! Grab a cuppa, get cushy and consider subscribing because today we are back in Snowdrift Sanctuary and we have a new DLC to play with. Okay, so first things first, we need to construct a dome. Obviously we can't have them running around in the snow, that's frankly cruel. So the way that I'm going to construct this is going to be primarily out of glass, so it's going to be echoing sort of the buildings over here. But I want to use a slightly different build style, especially as we kind of progress through the zoo and we start having this evolution. So I know that later buildings are going to be more domed and more complicated, so I kind of want to hint to that with this dome. So I'm going to start off by finding some concrete that I can use as a foundation. Now I'm going to go with a piece that is way too tall, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to sink this into the ground. And so by having it this tall, it means that I then have room to excavate into the ground if I need to or want to. I'm also going to put that in so that the guests have a way to get into the habitat. And also so it kind of provides like an airlock, if you like. And then I'm going to do the same on this side here. And actually I'm going to extend it slightly because they need quite a lot of room. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put in the glass on top. So I will do that off camera because it's pretty much the same thing, and if you guys have watched any Planet Zoo content before, you know what it looks like. So I will see you in just a moment. Okay, so now that I've gone and placed all of the glass on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the advanced move tool, and selecting the whole group, I'm just going to position it where I want it to be. So I'm actually going to rotate it slightly just to get it a bit more parallel with this wall. Of course I'm going to go and fix the wall when I go and do that habitat, but I kind of want to get it in the roughly the right position. I'm also going to pull it back from the path slightly, just so it's not quite so claustrophobic. Like that, and then the final step is just to go and sink it into the ground just to hide the concrete base a little bit more. So it becomes like that. Okay. So this is the basis for our little anteater habitat. I've put a little box here for the keepers to actually be able to enter the habitat, and then the guests are going to walk through here. Now, anteaters aren't exactly a walk-through habitat animal, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to excavate into here. So I'm going to go into the terrain tools, and I'm going to go into the stamp tool. If you hit control, it'll go the other way. Now, I don't want it to be very tall, so maybe 5 meters deep, something like that. And then you can also use the advanced move tools with the terrain tools. It's a trick that I've spoken about before, but it is very, very helpful. So I would recommend using that. And then I'm just going to go and excavate through here. Like that. And then this is the benefit of having such a deep concrete base, is that you then know that your animals aren't going to escape. So once I've done this, I'll come back and show you the results. Okay, so now that I've got the terraforming done, if you have a look here, I've had to leave this at ground level just so that the keepers can get in and out of the habitat nice and easily, and then I've sunk it for here where I'm going to put the path in. So obviously the next step is to put the pathing in. Now, because the path is going to be effectively floating, we need to build some supports. So I'm going to go back into the building, and I'm going to go back to the concrete walls, and I'm going to go in and put down effectively some supports. Now I'm doing it in this style just so that the anteaters can still access underneath. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that will do, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to put the pathing in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to align it to a grid. I'm also probably going to go... let's go with a rustic path, I think. I'm going to come out of that group and I'm going to set it to 4 meters because that's the same size as the grid pieces. And then I'm going to hold the shift key to elevate it. And then I'm going to try and line it up with these pieces. Like that. And then I'm going to hit align to grid. And I'm going to make sure I have square edges on. And then it's just a case of going and building along here. So I will need to fine tune the placement of the concrete barriers, but this is a easier way of putting in the path. Like that. I'm probably going to extend it out a little bit more here. And out here. Okay. So I'm just going to fine tune these and then I'll be right back. So I've gone to fine tune them, and if you can see here, I've actually left a little bit of a lip. So what I'm going to do now is you can then go in with something like a 1 meter wall. There we go. And then it should just snap into place. And it just makes putting in like barriers and stuff to stop the guests from kind of wandering a lot easier. Now I don't really want to use the concrete, I think it's a little bit too it's a bit too brutal. So let's see, maybe put some bamboo in, get that tropical vibe going. And like that. Okay. And then we've got these gaps here. So I'm going to go and find like a pillar or a post or something and fill in those gaps. I'm probably going to use like the torches. And then because they are lit, I can kind of say that they're also working as heaters. Okay, so I decided to go for these and I've gone and put in the habitat barriers. So it is time to go get our animals and put them in. Hello! Oh, they're so fluffy. Okay, how are they feeling? So got enough room, which is good. I want to see where the traversable area is. So they can get down there, they can get down there. Lovely. Okay, cool. They're not very happy with this, but that's fine. We'll sort that out in a second. They're fine with that. And then we just need to get them some enrichment. So let me go and get the vet on the research. Rex, get to it, mate. And I will sort out the terrain and then I will come back and show you what I've done.
1 eternity later.
So this is the habitat after we've put in all the foliage and enrichment and kind of decoration and stuff. And do you know what? I'm really happy with how it's turned out. So it's time for the showcase. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheerio!